Closer Nation, we over here again with one of these whiteboard Wednesdays. That's like our new international gang sign. I mean, because it's not a gang. Don't get it twisted. It's our new international slogan, right? We are international, though. We got people from all over the world that watch this. Surprisingly, there's people who must be just bored out of their mind from every span of this planet, because all over the place we have every country. I believe that there was even a blip on YouTube from Antarctica, like penguins are watching our shit or whatever, maybe really bored explorers. So anyway, the reason why I'm here today is we're going to talk about defying expectations when nobody believes in you. I've been there before, right? The guy that's a two-time felon that dropped out of school, that doesn't even talk to his parents anymore. I've been in a place where nobody believed in me. And I'm going to help you get through that, because chances are you're watching this video right now, you've been in that situation or you're in that situation currently. And if you haven't been or you're not in now, whenever you take a leap of faith, whenever you get out of your comfort zone, you will enter this period of judgment. Because here's what happens. You tell people that you're going to do something, and then they give you the, we'll see, right? Or the, I don't think so, right? Like, that's what you get from people. You tell people, you go to a business opportunity meeting, for example, and you come back and you're like, I found this opportunity. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to have A, B, C, and life's going to be great. And they're going to go, we'll see. We've heard that before. You see, because anybody can talk about things, right? Anybody can talk about it. We always had a saying with me and my boys growing up. We would always say, don't talk about it, be about it. Somebody talking about how they're going to whip somebody's ass or whatever. Like, don't talk about it, be about it. Go handle your business, right? You're going to make $1 million. Don't talk about it, be about it. And so what happens, though, is like people expect you to fail, right? Because most people have failed. This is the truth I'm talking to you right now. This is the gospel. Most people have failed in their life, and like attracts like, so they expect, since you're like them, for you to fail too. And so when you come out there and you have this great idea of how you're going to get rich, how you're going to work hard, how you're going to stand out, how you're going to change the world, break the mold, and all that other stuff, what happens is they go, I tried that and it didn't work for me, so it's not going to work for you either. And they shoot you down. And your job then is to defy their low expectations, which doesn't take much. And today I'm going to talk to you about the 4 steps that you can go through to defy people's expectations, because most people expect you to be like them and most people suck. Let's just be real, right? If most people didn't suck, then why would we call it the 1%? We would call it the 99%, right? We'd be like, the 99% are the brilliant, rich people that are in this world. That's not the case. So we can admit that most people suck, but if you're going to be the 1%, then you have to defy the expectations of the 99%, all right? And so that starts with, first thing is, you got to have a plan. You see, when you go to a multi-level marketing meeting, or you go to some sort of business opportunity meeting, and you come back and you're like, I'm going to sell protein powder. I'm going to like shake my ass a little bit. I'm going to get some rock hard abs. I'm going to sell some protein powder, and I'll be driving a Ferrari before you fuckers even know what hit you, right? And people are like, well, how are you going to do that? And you're like, just going to sell stuff. Would you like to buy it? And that's usually what happens. And so the expectation is for you to fail because you didn't present them with a real plan. And so the first step that you've got to have, if you're going to defy people's expectations, is you got to have a plan. And I'm not talking about a plan up here. I'm talking about a plan on a piece of paper, because here's the deal. If you showed up to somebody, even if it's multi-level marketing, I pick on that industry a lot, but let's be real. Most of us are good salesmen because we have tried that at one point or another, right? But let's just talk about that. If you were to show up with just multi-level marketing, which is something that's very sketchy at best, right? People are like, oh yeah, sure. Is that a pyramid scheme? Like, no, it's an upside down piece of pizza scheme. Just fucking calm down. And what's up with pizza? It's a round thing inside a square box with triangles. I think I've said that in a video before, but that's always weirded me out. So back to the pyramid scheme. So even if you were to sell multi-level marketing and you were to go up to the people and you're like, here's how I'm going to get this Ferrari. I'm going to sign up these 2 people, and then they've already got contacts for us to sign up these 2 people, and you had a plan. I'm going to prospect 27 people a day. That means I'm going to get 3 sales. I do 3 sales for a year. That's enough to pay for my Ferrari. Like, whatever those statistics are, most people don't have a plan. So when they show up, it's just a bunch of hot air coming out of their mouth, making a bunch of noise. It doesn't make any sense to them. But when you have something on paper, then you've defied the expectations. Because when you say, hey, let's go get rich together and sell this multi-level marketing product, they go, I've heard that before and it failed. And you say, but guess what? I've got a plan. This is a copy of Ad Week, but it could be a plan. Sure, there's some great plans inside of Ad Week. But you've got a plan on paper. That was an impromptu prompt. Just saying. And so you've got a plan on paper that defies their expectation, because the average idiot doesn't have a plan on paper, so you've already defied their expectations once. Step 2 is that's when you've got to focus. If you've got this plan, you've got to stick to it. A lot of people, they'll put all their effort and time into creating a plan and then they won't execute it. They won't stay focused on it. They think that they have to come up with another plan because the plan that they have originally didn't make them rich overnight. That's how most people think. Come on, you know, some of you watching this right now think that way. But what happens is you have to focus. Here's what I know about my business. When I started in this online authority business that I'm in now, right, where I'm this spokesperson for salespeople, okay? A lot of S's there. But when I'm this spokesperson for salespeople, at first I stood out and I said, hey, I'm a great salesperson and I'd like to help you become a great salesperson too. People said, a lot of people say that. A lot of sales trainers out there, a lot of people talking about how they're good at sales, right? Like they just kind of watch me. But I focused and I kept making these videos. I kept showing up for Whiteboard Wednesday. I kept writing the blog post. I kept showing up on Facebook. I kept doing the work. I stayed focused. And guess what? About 6 months passed by and people went, that Stewman boy is really going to go places. I went from just another idiot that lost his job to like he's extremely focused and dialed in. Now, it took a while to earn the respect and the attention of the marketplace, but I eventually pulled it off. And the same thing's going to happen to you. You're going to show up and you're going to be like, I got this new job. I got my hedge fund manager license. We're going to put billions in our bank and we're going to do all this stuff and we're going to do JVs. We're going to change the world. And they watch you. And if you follow that plan for 6 months, they start to respect you. At first, they doubt you. Then they hate you. Then they respect you because you've done something. You've defied their expectations. Their expectation was that you were going to quit. Their expectation was that you didn't have a plan and that you weren't going to be focused and disciplined enough to execute the plan that you drew up in the first place because that's how the 99% are. That's why only 1% become the 1%. But here's the next thing. On top of focus, you can't have focus without hard work. It's one thing to know exactly what the plan's about and stick to it, but if your plan doesn't include hard work, your plan's useless. And here's what most people aren't. Most people aren't hard workers. I read an article the other day about a lady who needed to take the day off for mental health reasons. If you're mentally unhealthy, I don't think you should have a job in the first place. It's just my opinion, right? We are very selective about who we let work here because we don't want people that need slow fake excuses to take off work, taking up our time and punching the clock inside of our building. But I do know this, most people don't want to do the work. They'll come up with excuses, mental health day, personal time off, paid vacation, oh, I'm having a baby. I'm just kidding about the having a baby part, obviously. I've got 3 kids, you need to take some time off for that. But I'm just saying, like, people will come up with any excuse to not do the work. Do you realize that every single month of the year we have at least one federal holiday where we take a day off? On top of not working Saturday and Sunday, and on top of other times then you get a Monday off or an extra day here and there because you get Good Friday off, and then you get the day after Easter Sunday and all these other things off, right? We've come up with tons of excuses not to work, so when you defy the expectations and you do the work, you stand out. I expected him to not have a plan, and he had a plan. I expected him to be extremely ADD and unfocused, but he was focused. I expected him to be lazy like the rest of the world, and he did the work. Do you see the expectation that's been set from society for us versus the exceeding those expectations that you have to? It's not even rocket science. It's not even something that's impossible. It's not even complicated. It's just a matter of fact of following and defying because the world expects you to fail because the world's full of people who failed. And lastly, if you just don't quit, this is the opposite of a stop sign. It's a go sign. It's green with the words go in it. And so in some neighborhoods, we need those instead of stop signs. But if you just don't stop, if you're doing what it takes, if you have the plan, if you're focused, you're executing the work, as long as you don't stop, you will eventually get there. There was a time when I sold social media management, right? I was the actual dude that wrote social media posts for a bunch of people. Matter of fact, I'm going to speak in front of about 500 real estate agents tomorrow. And one of the broker that has those 500 agents was one of my very first clients. And he had 3 agents when we started working together. And I share that with you because when I started in 2012 selling social media management, people would say, Facebook, the Facebook, they have spit everywhere. And said, the Facebook, the space, no, that's for my friends and family. That's not for business. And people didn't understand it. And that's one of the reasons I got this hardcore closer nickname because I had to be hardcore about getting people to believe in Facebook and being able to get business from it because people didn't think so. But here's what's up. I didn't stop. I didn't go, oh, because Alex doesn't believe in Facebook or Mehdi doesn't believe in Facebook. I didn't stop, right? What I did was I just kept going. I'm going to make you believe in Facebook. I'm going to show you firsthand. I'm going to show you that you can have tattoos and a faux hawk and be 40 years old with a faux hawk and tattoos, which is the symptoms of midlife crisis, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one step away from breaking down with this motherfucker. But anyway, so here's the thing. Like, these are the things that should make it hard, but I've shown you how social media has made it easier to sell this way. I didn't quit, and now here we are, flash forward 7 years later. Was it been 5 years later? I'm sitting here, we make, multiple 7 figures a year, and we have the respect of the marketplace, and all those people who had seriously low expectations for me in the beginning now expect me to help them for free, but that shit ain't happening, you kangaroo motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's gonna happen to you too. At first they doubt you, then they hate you, then they respect you, and then oftentimes, if you were willing to let them, they will buy from you. So today, go out there, start defying people's expectations, plan, focus, work, and never stop. And I promise you, no matter what they say in the beginning, it took me 6 months to break through. If somebody's watching this video right now for the first time, it might take you 6 months before you decide to commit to something like Entourage as well. And I understand that because I know that I have to prove myself to you. I have the plan. I am extremely focused. And as you can see with me in front of this video, I'm willing to do the work and I'm not going to stop. If you'll follow that same 4-step process, you'll go through that same hero journey. You'll defy their expectations and become the expert. If you dig this, if you enjoy it, make sure you share it. Make sure you go to hardcorecloser.com, share it there, put it on social media, YouTube, all the usual suspects. We'll catch you next week.